Welcome back to Thimbleberry U. I'm John Jagay. I'm joined as always by Amy Wallace from Thimbleberry Financial. Hello, Amy.
Hi, Jag.
Have you ever scrolled through your feed and wondered, how is everyone doing so well? You see it on whatever social media platform you're on. The vacations, the remodels, the I just bought a boat posts. It can make you feel like you're falling behind. Amy, let's talk about why we feel that way. What's really going on here? Why do we feel like everyone else has more money than we do?
First of all, Jag, I think everybody has probably felt this way if they are on social media. The fact of the matter is visibility has exploded as social media has become a big part of our lives. And we now see other people spending every single day, not just neighbors like we did before, but thousands of online strangers who we know nothing about, truly. The other thing is this highlights reels, not reality. Right? People post about their upgrades and their wins, but they don't post generally about their debt or the stress behind that debt. Also, more recently, what I've seen a lot of posts about are side hustles.
Yeah.
Right? And there's this illusion that there are these side hustles out there. But the reality is, and this is from a 2025 Bankrate study, only 25% of adults have a side hustle. But older surveys claiming 50% had a side hustle still shape that perception.
That's really interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And then debt distortion. Many affluent lifestyles are funded by credit or family help, but that's invisible to you and I on the outside.
Okay, a couple follow-ups because this is top of mind for me because I just was in Las Vegas this weekend for a boys' trip with my in-laws. Okay. So posting your highlights, not your reality, on social media. I posted watching a baseball game outside a piano bar while the dueling piano bars were covering Britney Spears, and I'm like, only in Vegas. This is amazing. I posted a concert I went to. I did not post that I was at the craps table and up 50 and all of a sudden down 50. Like, I only posted the fun stuff. I didn't post the, man, like I was waiting forever for an Uber. So only posting the good things is true. And then oddly enough, I was in an Uber headed back to my hotel, and the Uber driver was telling me the story of picking up these like 20-something-year-old kids in this insanely rich condo complex and this lifestyle they had, and all they were talking about is, money and hedge funds or, whatever it was. And it was obvious that they had mom and dad's money. And so a lot of these things, oh, look at us, look at this great life we're living out on the yacht. Well, they're not posting the hard stuff. They're not posting the fact that they put it on the credit card, to your point, or that mom and dad helped them. So it's really not apples to apples when you're comparing it to your normal life.
Yeah, we don't know what we don't know, but it's so easy to tell ourselves a story that we've completely made up.
So true. So what's happening psychologically to us when we compare ourselves to what we're seeing online?
Well, we have social comparison wiring. We're wired to compare to others. We naturally evaluate ourselves by looking sideways. We also have an upward focus. We tend to notice people who seem better off than us rather than those that have less than us. It's kind of like when someone wants the next position at work.
Yeah.
They're looking to those people, not the people below them, as to what they want to achieve, right? There's also moving benchmarks. As peers post more success, our ideas of what I'll call enough keep rising, right? Because when we're exposed to that, if we're constantly looking up and we're seeing people accomplish these things, well, then the expectations of what I should have, I think is a good word here, changes. It increases.
Keeping up with the Joneses.
Absolutely. And then we all know about the algorithms on social media, right? They have an effect. The social media feeds amplify the things we look at the most. So luxury and achievement, training our brains to think what we're seeing is normal, is how that works.
We're going to like somebody posting a big win as opposed to, say some sort of sob story.
Absolutely.
And as we were kind of alluding to with keeping up with the Joneses, it makes satisfaction this like moving target, even if our circumstances haven't changed. So what's the reality behind all these appearances we're seeing?
Well, first of all, let's look at savings rates. Savings remains low nationwide. The national savings rate is 4 to 5%. That's actually half of its historical average.
When you say 4 to 5%, that's 4 to 5% of what people are taking in?
Of salary that's being saved.
Yep.
Yep. People have small or thin emergency buffers. About 1 in 5 adults could not cover a $100 surprise bill.
Wow. I've heard that
Yeah.
a lot of folks can't cover a $500 surprise car repair, but $100, that's 20%. That's wild.
Yeah. I mean, I know we're talking about social media, but I can't tell you how many posts I've seen recently talking about how expensive Halloween candy is.
Yeah.
Because we are recording this shortly before Halloween.
Right.
Also, there's retirement worries. Only about 35% of non-retirees feel like they are on track for retirement. 35%. And yet, hopefully, all of us, 100%, are going to need to retire or be able to retire someday.
Right.
And then there's rising debt. So credit card balances and delinquencies hit record highs in 2025.
I can't say I'm surprised to hear that. But so what you're saying is even people who look comfortable might actually be stretched thin.
Yeah.
Why does feeling behind sting so much, even if we ourselves are doing okay?
We've tied in our identity. So money really has become shorthand for worth, and falling behind, not meeting those expectations that we've set for ourselves, and it's hard to recognize that we've set them, that feels personal.
Yeah.
We want to, as humans, avoid loss. We want to avoid pain. And seeing others win triggers pain in the form of losing for ourselves.
Wow. Okay, that one blows my mind because I know we've talked in previous episodes about losing money is a stronger emotion than winning money or gaining money. So that others are getting ahead makes us feel like we're losing or not keeping up. That's powerful.
And I find that one really interesting because so often we talk about, not you and I, but people in general talk about the people who celebrate the wins of others. Right? And people have to really consciously do that because the reality is naturally we feel pain when others win if we see it as we're losing.
Yeah.
Then there's comparison fatigue. Constant exposure to things overloads our ability to feel grateful. It's kind of like decision fatigue.
Yeah.
So that's important. And then there's a stress feedback loop. The more inadequate we feel, the more we spend essentially to try to catch up. And then that catch up, right, if we're using debt or other things, creates more stress.
What you're saying is that comparison drains both your wallet and your well-being.
Absolutely.
So I think you're going to anticipate my next question here. How do we break this cycle and feel, for lack of a better term, financially content again?
So, Jag, let me ask you this. How would you feel if you're feeling the kinds of things we've just talked about and realize I'm comparing myself to others? Could you redefine your goals?
Oh, I like that.
Could you measure your progress by your goals? So those goals being things like debt is down, your savings is up, and how are you feeling from a peace of mind standpoint?
I like that. Okay.
Perhaps limit your triggers. Curate your feeds, mute the envy-inducing content. Just last week, I went through and deleted several people in some of my feeds just because it wasn't for these reasons, but because the way I felt after watching them wasn't positive.
Sure. And I think curating your feed is a much more attainable goal than getting off social media altogether.
I think that's right in this day and age.
Mm-hmm.
This ties to setting your own goals, but set your version of enough.
Okay.
Define that your version of enough doesn't have to be what other people say is enough, right? You're in different places, different situations. Write down what comfort, flexibility, and fun mean to you.
Mm-hmm.
Another option, celebrate quiet wins. Paying the bills easily, or maybe it's the stress of your wife when she pays the bills, skipping lifestyle creep. This is one that I hear from clients they love when we've talked about try to maintain your lifestyle at the same level. Obviously, we adjust for inflation.
Yeah.
But as you have these salary increases, if you're behind, those need to go to savings. And our biggest culprit is, I got a pay raise, my lifestyle can go up.
Right.
Or I made this choice and that led to a domino of other choices or will lead that cause lifestyle creep to happen. If you can avoid that and the money goes to savings, investments, that's real wealth. The last one I'd say is stay curious rather than competitive.
Okay.
I am a highly competitive person. Highly competitive. But when it comes to others, I'm also very curious. So learn from others without turning what they're doing and you're doing into a race.
Amy, we have talked in more episodes than I could count about the psychology, behavioral finance, having a goal to help you set your retirement and having that motivation. What you're talking about here is just a mindset, which is so key. You've talked about practical, doable steps here and a healthier way to look at money, and I love it. As we wrap up, what are the key takeaways?
First, remember that what you see online is a highlight reel. REEL, not REAL.
I like that.
Comparison is instinctive, but it rarely helps us.
Sure.
So try to eliminate it. Maybe there's a series of questions that you have to train yourself to ask in the moment of comparison. Real financial well-being is about control and clarity, not appearances. And then focus on you and your own plan. When you do that, that's where confidence really grows in your financial situation. I think other areas.
Absolutely. I really enjoy talking to you about this stuff, Amy. And if this conversation helps you listening, it helps you quiet that everyone has more voice in your head, then you might want to share this episode with somebody that you know. And in the meantime, if you want to reach out to Amy directly at Thimbleberry Financial, what are the best ways to find you?
Yeah, they can find us online at thimbleberryfinancial.com or by giving us a call at 503-610-6510.
Awesome. Good stuff, Amy. We'll talk again in a couple weeks.
Sounds great, Jag. Thanks.
Securities offered through registered representatives of Cambridge Investment Research, Inc., a broker-dealer member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services through Cambridge Investment Research Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor. Cambridge and Thimbleberry Financial are not affiliated. Discussions in this show should not be construed as specific recommendations or investment advice. Always consult with your investment professional before making important investment decisions. Securities offered through registered representatives of Cambridge Investment Research, Inc., a broker-dealer member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services through Cambridge Investment Research Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor. Cambridge and Thimbleberry Financial are not affiliated.